2, 1, and we should be live. I'll let you kick it off, Mr. McWombles.
Hello, good morning, everyone in the US. Good afternoon, and yeah, whatever. We are the Beerumverate. This week, we've got Mitch back because apparently I was talking too much bullshit the last 4 weeks since you were last on.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll find out later. I've entered into the land of Journey. By magic, I've been transported there. I'm getting a nice tan on the back of my neck.
More like we exiled him there because he was being such a dick.
I'm sure I invited him back on, but maybe I'm regretting that. Right, intro, who we are. We are a group of people here to talk about video games and good beer. We are not here to promote drinking, especially at stupid o'clock in the morning, wherever you may be. Matthew.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've got coffee and water. Mitch is eating cheese for breakfast, which good on you.
Don't give it away yet.
No, there's a special surprise coming. We are not here to condone drinking. Please drink responsibly. Any beers or breweries we might talk about aren't promoting us. And that's about it.
Yeah, I
think that was one of my less massacred intros.
It was pretty good. It was smooth. I liked it.
And we're experimenting this week with new technology. Hence why I can get a background.
Yeah, I decided that I was tired of Discord crashing my computer, so I ponied up and got a pro account of Zoom so that we could do this.
Right. What do we want to do? Should we do beers? Because since I'm the only one drinking, and then Mitch can introduce what he wants to talk about, which is, I think, something breakfast related and potentially nothing to do with Wisconsin.
Yeah, what beers do you have? Assuming they're actually going to show up.
I've got a disappearing one.
Jesus.
Green Mountain. Okay, you won't read that properly. Green Mountain Hazy Vermont Session IPA. And it is definitely hazy.
I like that they. Where's that brewed?
Thornbridge in the UK.
Okay, I like that they chose Vermont as the state that they.
Yeah. Is Vermont particularly known for its hazy IPAs?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Anyone from who's on the internet who might watch this, if you are from Vermont, please get in touch so you can tell us about your haziness and your IPA-ness.
Indeed.
Right, should we crack on and get to Mitch? Because I'm looking forward to this, Mitch.
Yes,
you've egged this up now.
I want to know.
I did spec this up. So, well, first, I'm not drinking beer today because it just as ugly at o'clock in the morning it is for Berkough. It's just as ugly o'clock for me. It's just a couple hours later. But so I'm drinking water, but I'm drinking it out of my giant Fantastic cup, which is a movie I personally think is gets too much of a bad rap because half of that movie is amazing and the other half you can clearly tell Suit stepped in and really changed that movie because, man, I was looking forward to the rest of how that movie was actually going to go.
Oh my God.
But
okay, wait, hold on. We got to get into this a little bit. Which Fantastic Four is this? Is this the...
This is the newest. That's why I call it Fan-Four-tastic because it's
okay.
Fan-Four-tastic.
All right. It's not as good as the first one they did with, was it Jessica Alba?
Oh, I disagree. I hate those so much. They're too corny. They're too corny.
Chris Evans and the guy from The Shield and the Welsh guy whose name escapes me.
The guy that played Doctor Doom, he was...
Australian. Used to be in Home and Away.
Yeah, well, he was Cole in the series Charmed, if you've ever watched that. And then... trying to think what else he was in.
Home and Away, Australian soap opera, mate.
Nip Tuck too. Yeah, he was one of the main characters in Nip Tuck.
Yeah,
Did I mention he was in Home and Away?
Nope, never seen.
No.
I've heard of Nip Tuck. When I used to watch Buffy on FX, that was an ad that would constantly pop up at like 6 a.m. when Buffy was on reruns. That was bomb.
It's a good show, but as always, we're here to talk about video games, gentlemen. So.
Oh, what is the hashtag for this show, by the way?
PRE-3. Hashtag
PRE-3.
Yeah.
PRE-3.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other part I have really quick is I heard someone else from Wisconsin decided they wanted to do kind of a breakfast and beer show. Either it's going to be breakfast or beer. So I thought I'd jump on it already and kind of test it out for him. Test the market. This does really well. Hey, it's a great show to do. And so I have some breakfast this morning. I got some cheese, I got some almonds, and I got some turkey. And I'm just gonna, pop some turkey and some cheese throughout my time, and I'll give Evan my notes to say, hey, this is not a good time to eat the snack. This is a good time to pow down on the snackage, and then he's all set for his potential new show.
I like it. I like
right.
the, I like the fact that you're eating cheese in the morning.
Public service announcements. Get your tissues handy, people. There is no episode of the Beerumverate next week.
Oh yeah.
I'm moving home, and Mr. Berkough is going to Hawaii.
I will. Yeah, I'll be out of the state.
So if you know where he lives, that's a good time to burgle his house. And the second one is Evan has been in touch and said that he and Vin are recording the final ever episode of Podcast Reload today.
That's right.
And then the show will be closed down.
Yeah.
It will be sorely missed, all 58 episodes. What it will be, 58,
we're already on track to eclipse that by the end of this year.
I didn't want to get into that. I don't want to turn this into a competition.
No, I know it's kind of a sad end of an era. Podcast Reload.
Yeah, but if we do want to turn it into a competition, we're fucking winning. Yes, I do like to play football against the under fives around the corner from the park here. I always win, so that's good. Not that I'm competitive in any way.
You push down.
I don't
pretty easily. Go down.
Like one of those annoying people. If you guys ever used,
I really know how to do a stiff arm. Bam. What is it? Have you seen the SNL with Peyton Manning when he's doing it for United Way or something, and he's like playing football with the kids, and he's like, get open, and then he chucks the football and hits the kid perfectly. Sucks. Like go in the corner, you're not doing your job, go in the corner. And then they like try to teach you how to hijack a car. So then the phrase was Peyton Manning, United Way, seek us so Peyton doesn't.
Well, if it had Peyton Manning in it, I purposely wouldn't watch it because I loathe the man. Do we want to get into this alternate hashtag? Who put that one in the notes? That was
me. So
okay, explain. Read it and then explain yourself.
So the alternate hashtag was, "Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants." All right, so I've been watching a lot of Archer because by default, my wife's been watching Archer, and I was thinking about how they've opened E3 up to the public, and yeah, so the public are ants. That's the thought process behind the alternate hashtag.
That's quite a good one. That could have been the. You can update that when we start talking about the topic if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like that one better.
Right, rumors. Do you want to do rumors?
I think you've got a pretty good one. Do you want me to do mine first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I heard that the reason the ESA has been pushing VR so hard is because E3 will one day just exist virtually. When LA falls off into the ocean, and I've got beachfront property, then the only way they can do it is to have it in virtual cyberspace. So that's why we hear so much about VR and the beauty of it. So that was the knocking in the background. It's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah. Yes, there's someone in my building doing fuck knows what, but it's really winding me up. So I've had to put up with it all morning. You only have to put up with it for an hour.
True.
Right. Oh no, now they're drilling. Right, let's get through this shit. So there's going to be a secret surprise at the Microsoft press conference, at the not E3 press conference that they do. And since the CEOs of both Microsoft and Sony have been so buddy-buddy recently, it's going to be announced that Kaz Hirai is coming out of retirement to work at Microsoft.
Nice.
Oh man, he's gonna get death threats like no other.
But not just that. Andrew House is going to come out of retirement and work at Microsoft.
I also hear he's gonna pull Kojima with him because he got him last time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So Death Stranding's going to be cross-platform. Mitch, how did you find out about this? Who have you been torturing this week?
I was gonna say, I really beat my sources again this week.
Yeah, so Death Stranding's going to be not a Sony exclusive. It's going to be coming out on Microni platforms or Sony Soft. They haven't decided on
Sony Soft.
What to call it. Yeah,
I like that. That's catchy. Sony Soft.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a bit more when we start talking about stuff. But right, do we want to? It's not that far away from E3.
No.
So we wanted to start talking about kind of pre-3. What does this show mean to us this time round? On a scale of don't care to fuck yeah, where are we sitting?
At the moment, I'm kind of sitting at I'm saying at like, let's see. To me, it's more of like, this reminds me of last year with the Oscars, where they're like, Oscars have no host. What are they gonna do? And then like, it actually went really well for them because they didn't have a host. But like this one, it's like, we just have no idea like what's really gonna happen. Like, I think this is probably the first E3 in a while that I think we're gonna have more surprises than we've ever had before. One, because there hasn't been a lot of rumors that kind of pulled out. The only thing is about new consoles. So I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting. I'm kind of a wait and see. I'm calling it. I'm at the scale of it's the Oscars. Let's watch it. It's either gonna burn or it's gonna go great. But I'm ready to watch it go either way.
Matt?
I guess I'm kind of at the point of, is it even really a show anymore? I feel like everybody's pulled out. I just don't know. Like Sony's already unveiling their console like 2 months ahead of time, or at least announcing it. It's crazy to me that, getting back to my alternate hashtag, it's like they let the public in, and the E3 luster just faded and crashed, and the big guys are just pulling out and they're doing their own thing, and I don't know. I mean, we should hear some good things from CD Projekt Red. I'm sure we'll hear some good things from Bethesda, but what's to stop them from just doing their own thing?
Well, I mean, I guess you're more the big guys pulled out, if anything, but really like Ubisoft, Square Enix is going to do another one. There is
but their E3 presentation last year was fucking garbage. It was a 15-minute, was it half an hour, 35-minute video?
Yeah, it wasn't even that long.
Yeah, it was a direct style.
Yeah. So who? I was just
something different this year, though. Who knows?
Yeah. I was just about to say. So who actually does a E3 presentation that's associated with the ESA now? Bethesda and Ubisoft are the only two.
Yeah, I think so.
An actual presentation that's physical with a person there. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, EA's
and that's pretty tame, really.
Yeah, EA's technically there, but they're still like doing their own thing.
Yeah, but they're down the road. They don't call it part of being E3.
Not at the convention center. They are literally at their own space. Not even. And this year they're not even gonna. They're doing like a treehouse style.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you doing, guys? Oh my god.
Oh, they're going to talk about Madden and FIFA and say how brilliant they are, and then unveil.
Star Wars, dude. That's like the thing. Oh my god.
I want to get on. I want to get onto that because we're going to talk about potential hopes and flops, and I really hope that the Star Wars showing is really good, because otherwise that could probably be the biggest flop of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's if you do treehouse style with Star Wars, it's like Star Wars is meant to be a presentation, not
Treehouse Star Wars. They're filming it from Kashyyyk.
Wookiees and all. You know, actually, Chewbacca is heading the presentation for that one. We don't even know what the hell
it would probably be more engaging than hearing Android Wilson talk.
That's true. Or the Stadia guy going, I don't play games.
Yeah.
But we're making a console for games.
Oh. Where's McWomble now?
I've moved to the land of Minecraft.
You switched to Minecraft for Microsoft?
Because I think Microsoft are going to do a particularly boring show.
I don't know. Did you see what Michael Pachter tweeted out? I think yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. If he didn't mention me, I wouldn't have read it.
Okay. So, Mitch, you saw it?
Yeah, I did.
Minecraft AR, basically Pokemon Go style Minecraft, where people get together and build in real life with their phones. I think that's actually going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it should be an extension of the what were those goggles that they had? The Microsoft
HoloLens.
HoloLens. Yeah, it seems like they've integrated that technology into like mobile phones now, or they've done it via software instead of hardware. I don't know. That actually, if they show that, I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I think they're going to do Gears 5. What force are we on now? Motorsport.
Forza Horizon
7.
No, we just did Forza Horizon, so it'd just be Forza.
Yeah. So it'll be what we've talked about in the past. It'll be Gears, Halo, Forza. Thank you very much. Good night. Oh, here's some stuff. You know those studios we bought? Yeah, they've got games in development. Thanks. Bye.
Do you think we'll see any more of Halo Infinite? Do we think it's going to be a game as a service?
Haven't they already said that it's going to be a game as a service?
Did they?
It's going to be ongoing. So they didn't actually say that, but they said it's going to be an ongoing experience. I think was the phrase that they used.
Okay, so you don't even need to pay attention to Microsoft to know what they're doing.
Yeah. They might announce their streaming service, so that could be quite interesting. Since this is why I was talking about my crony and Sony Soft.
Right.
So
they're going to use the same cloud-based inner. Oh, geez, now I can't think of the word. But they're both going to be using the same interface. That's the word.
Yeah.
They're both using the online computing interface, so at least we get to see what the power of it is, so that we have an idea of what Sony's. So when Sony comes out with their thing, we're going, okay, we have a better idea of how powerful it really is.
And that would be good for Sony as well, because Microsoft are a much better place to deliver something like that, because PlayStation now is shit
Yeah, it's pretty
for
bad.
streaming. And I've got a pretty decent internet connection, and still streaming on that is garbage.
Yeah.
I think, Michael, I have a question for you guys. So obviously, I think it was last year's conference was different than the year before's because it was they kind of transitioned to do what Sony was doing before Sony left E3 of just showing game and game and game and game, and then maybe a person occasionally comes out rarely. Did you like that style that they were doing? Did you think it was too? Yeah, go ahead. I have my own personal thoughts on it, but go ahead about it first.
Keith?
Oh, so Matt obviously wanted more thinking time and knows that I'm gobby. So it worked as it works in principle, and it is that they've actually realised why people go to that. They don't go to that to have a fucking sports car lowered from the ceiling and everyone go, ooh, sports car. Just talk.
They can't afford.
Yeah.
It's more like just rub it in your face of, we're Microsoft. We can buy shit. You can't.
Yeah. or we've rented this car for a day and had to pay an inordinate amount of money to protect it because we didn't tell the people that we're actually going to be lowering it from the ceiling. And it kind of comes back to they need the format was okay, but it was same old. And it was the whole thing, like I've said bloody too many times, Gears, Halo, Forza.
Right.
We need so the format was good, but the content needs to be different. Because if you can go to a Microsoft conference and know probably 50 to 60% of everything that they're going to show in advance,
what's the point in watching it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and particularly, what's the point of paying to go?
Yeah.
I know they don't. I know they don't allow ants into the Microsoft conference. But you've got a host of people there, primed to launch news around the internet. You've got millions of people streaming around the world, and yet everyone knows 50% of all you're going to say in advance.
I don't know. As long as they do another like indie reel, so we at least see some of the stuff that's coming out from the studios that they bought. Like Outer Worlds is out. This is out.
Where'd my beer go?
That should be out this year.
It's out this fall, right?
Yeah, I think they anticipated that.
Have they got the exclusive?
No, that is multi-platform.
Yeah,
but have they got a deal to do exclusive media? Because sometimes they do. So have they...
do you like an exclusive like DLC, or is that what you mean?
No. So some of the time people do deals, particularly with the Xbox One X being out now, where people want it shown first on Microsoft's platform.
Probably.
Because it's going to show it the best.
Well, I was going to say, with Obsidian being Microsoft now, I mean, they're owned by them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Forgot about
that. Yeah, they'll probably do something with Other Worlds and then hopefully show off, like, this is, what we're thinking about doing in the future. We're working on something else.
I want to know what Ninja Theory's doing. Just tell me what Ninja Theory are doing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's my greatest interest.
I still haven't got around to playing Senua's Sacrifice.
Jesus,
I will.
Guy, get on that. Great.
I just finished Thronebreaker this morning, so I might play that next.
Whatever you do, do not start Days Gone before you play Senua's Sacrifice, because God, that game is freaking long.
I'm not going to play Days Gone.
Not either.
To be honest, it's actually a pretty good game. I'm putting a review up for it pretty soon. I'm getting back to doing content again. I took a little bit of a hiatus for a bit.
Okay.
The thing that for me that I think people are like missing about the story is I think it's like a TV show. So like it has a big concept, that happens that like from the start to the end of a season of a show, but then it's like little self-contained episodes within it, and some of them suck, some of them are really good.
Yeah. And for anyone watching, you can follow Mitch at Freeze Frame Rate on YouTube.
Please do. Because I need to one up you guys on my subscriber count here. Come on.
Right. Who do we want to do? Who do we want to do next?
Ubisoft. Do we know what they're going to be?
This one could be interesting.
I'm just excited for the first game because it's always Just Dance. And it's always creepy, the weirdest thing ever. Just dancing away, and it just sets, as Michael Huber would say, it sets the tone, man.
Right.
Sets the tone.
Yeah, as being, why the fuck am I watching this? So, do we think we're going to get more Beyond Good and Evil 2?
It's gotta.
They gotta do something.
Because I mean, Skull and Bones just got delayed a boatload, and it's like in almost hiatus. They're like just don't know, which it just flabbergasts me of like how is this simple game? It's just ships. It's literally just ship combat. That's all it is. How is it that complicated in regards to like, because they're not even doing a story. It's only online play.
Right. They've already worked out the logistics. Like they know that it's going to be Assassin's Creed 4, and it's the ship combat, right?
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's almost a copy and paste of concepts because the game was really good. Add a couple things, sure, but this game, I don't think Ubisoft thought this game was going to take as long as it's taking, and they're probably just being like, "What the hell is going on with this game?"
I don't mind that though. I mean, take as long as they need, so long as it comes out and it's good.
Jesus Christ. No, you should have the bear from last year, the dancing bear. That's what
I haven't got that on my photos.
Google it. I wish. I'd be playing backgrounds right now, guys. It's too damn old.
Is it next time we do this, I'm going to have this all prepped in advance.
For every topic.
Especially because Ubisoft isn't The Last of Us, so that's a real
Or the thing that you could be interesting about Ubisoft is these 5 or 6 unannounced games between now and 2022.
That was 4, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so they've got well, they announced 1, so that was Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Edition.
To you, but to other people, it's the millions, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Wildlands, so.
Yeah, but you also think Halo's good. Solo's good, even.
The first point I agree with. Halo is good.
Halo is good.
Not.
Solo not good. So that's one. That was 1, and then. But what are these other 4? What are they? Come on, show me something interesting. Well, and don't show me classic kind of Ubisoft game. One's got
to be a Far Cry. One's got to be an Assassin's Creed, right? Like there's 2.
Yeah, that's true. They're almost back. They're back to probably a yearly cycle for Assassin's Creed. They proved it with last year's. When everyone thought, they're going to take 2 years breaks, and then they just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Origins and Odyssey. But
See, I tried to get back into Origins, and I was really excited to do it. I even still have a copy of the game, and I started it, and I was like, this just feels like the same Assassin's Creed, which I kind of wanted them to try to do something more different. I don't think it's different enough. I think it's too much of the same.
It had enough of an injection of RPG elements for me that it was enough of a change from the classic formula. At least in my opinion.
I guess the difference for me is I still liked that over. I liked the 2 different story plots. I always liked
that was really cool too. Yeah,
where they did the what's happening in the current time, and then how that relates to what's going on in the past. And I liked that concept, even though it didn't work all the way sometimes. I really liked that. And so now they're just doing, you just fall into the past, and it's not as, I don't know, for me it's not as compelling as it could be.
Right.
Yeah, and it's easier for you because I have to deal with a 9-hour time difference. So when this comes around, I have to pick and choose which ones I actually want to watch and which ones I kind of watch later. And thanks to the wonders of modern technology, I can just skim through loads of shit that I don't want to watch. So the Ubisoft conference from last year, Just Dance section is like, what the hell is this? I will skip forward. It's still going.
It didn't make you happy?
No, it made me feel sad inside. I don't know why at that kind of showing they make such a big deal out of it. Maybe they think, oh, it's a meme now, so we can keep going with it. I just find it depressing.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we want to move on?
we just really just put it on the nail. Ubisoft is depressing.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go on to Bethesda. Are we going to see anything from Starfield? Are they actually going to show us anything on that game?
No, they're not going to show anything from Starfield. They're not going to show anything from the Elder Scrolls 6.
Well,
it's going to.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 we knew, because that's just not happening in this decade.
Yeah,
so and not even announced in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a big blowout on Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Maybe a small amount on Wolfenstein Youngbloods, and what else you get?
So it's the id Software presentation, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're gonna have to rely on it again this year.
Yeah, well, what they showed of Starfield last year was just that CGI announcement trailer. I don't think they would have had.
I think it was just a logo. It wasn't even anything, right?
Well, they had that bit where there was a thing floating in space, and then it shot off and said Starfield, and that was it. And then everyone thought it was kind of that no one knew what it was because everyone was still deaf from listening to Andrew WK.
Right. I forgot about that. That's a
so,
a repressed memory.
Yeah. So now Rage is out. It's kind of what have I'm really chitting all over this show, aren't I? It's kind of, were you having a good morning? I'm here to make you feel rubbish about the world. I'm not going to go and kill any puppies, though. Puppies are cool. Unless they're pugs, inbred freak dogs. What else? Is that? Does anyone have feelings about Bethesda?
I think the only thing. Oh, Evan, here's proof. Food in your mouth, bad idea. All right. So, the one thing I would say that I only found compelling about Bethesda, because most of their games that I'm not too crazy about, is the whole circus theme. I love that. They should keep that
circus theme.
Yeah,
because I think it was 2 years ago they put this circus map out, and there's locations, and locations for games, and was let's go to
go to Falloutville, and yeah.
I love that. I mean, I even liked getting that ahead of time, just to build the speculation. I think that whole concept was awesome, and I think it worked. I was so sad they didn't do it again next year or something similar. And I think anyone can take anything from Bethesda. That's what you should steal. Besides that, don't take their game engine. Don't take their shit. It's not good.
Yeah, use its. Right. Who else we got? Do we want to do EA?
I mean,
Yes, because I got beef.
Well,
all
you've
right.
come to the right place.
Yeah, go ahead and take it away.
Well, I do not understand. Actually, probably the quote for EA, their slogan should be "I do not understand," which is basically every fan of every game, every property they own, because you just don't freaking understand. Like what? To do a like treehouse style as your presentation when you have a Star Wars game that has lightsabers, that's a Jedi on the freaking run in probably the most compelling time in Star Wars franchise history that people want to know what's going on about, which is the transition between 3 and 4. Like, how is that not presentation worthy of giving it the gravitas it deserves, man? Like, this is just, it's basically just going, we don't care. It's Star Wars.
I think they've got this misguided notion going back to the fact that they're actually interdimensional alien goldfish. That they know best, and then when something doesn't work, they just forget that it didn't work and then carry on doing the same thing anyway. So they tried their influencer show a couple of years ago, and that was a disaster. So now they're doubling down on it and doing a treehouse one with developers and influencers, and I'm looking forward to the car crash that could be that show.
Well, you remember my rumor that I beat some evidence out of that what they were planning on doing for Star Wars? You know, it's pretty much racking up to be true. They're gonna go sit down because it's treehouse style. I wouldn't be surprised if they show the same damn thing again. Which I'm surprised because I did expect that source to come through. Oh, but man, yeah. I think I'll be on you better put me on the show right after E3 so I can just milk this baby for all I got it for.
Yeah, because there's going to be the token indie game. There's going to be Star Wars.
Not necessarily. I would say their token indie game is usually an interesting concept, though. Like the Away, was it A Way Out? Was it?
Yeah.
That was a cool concept, and I think it worked. So I give them credit for giving their indie games some cred. I think them as a cred.
So they've got their relatively interesting token indie game, and then they've got FIFA and Madden and whatever classic franchise they happen to have turned into a loot box driven mobile game. The end.
I've actually played was it Command and Conquer Rivals, the mobile game that everybody totally shit on when that was released. Even I did. I went ape shit when I found out it was a mobile game. It's not bad, actually. I sat and played it for at least 30 minutes the other night.
So, Mitch, what have you been doing? Let's just keep talking so Matt doesn't...
Storming off the set.
That's it. Well, he could just end the stream. So
he could just end it and just end us all being like,
yeah,
what? Peace out, yo. Button. Yeah, the red button is pressed.
I've had enough of this shit. I'm sorry. I'm sick of getting vilified about liking the Han Solo piece of shit movie. I'm sick of getting told about Final Fantasy VII and how I've got to buy every single time.
Basically, this show should be called pissing off the guy.
Pissing on Berkough. That would be one of the hashtags for later in the year. Do we want to talk Sony? Given the,
I mean,
actually, I do have something on Sony, but you can go first if you guys have something first.
Well, this is the only thing that most people are going to be caring about, isn't it?
I care about Ghost of Tsushima probably more than I care about The Last of Us Part 2.
I care about Ghost of Tsushima more than this part 2 as well, because I tried playing this and frankly I didn't give a shit about any of the characters. But that might be, as I talked about with Evan before, it's probably because I knew what the ending was. So that's more on me than the storytellers. If Ghost of Tsushima is coming out this year, I think that could probably be the most interesting thing that gets announced at E3.
But are they going to announce it during E3? Or do anything
I don't
during
know,
E3?
Matthew, because I don't work for Sony.
I think they will, and here's why, and this is my thing. So they did their State of Play last week.
Right.
And they had the Days of Play they announced with that PS4, and people are so confused, and even I was. So I watched the video about 4 to 5 times. And they mentioned that there is an event called State of Play. I mean, not State of Play. Jesus, now I'm getting the wording bad. Days of Play.
Yeah.
They said it's happening in June.
They didn't give a date in June when it's going to be.
They didn't give a date in June, but they said June, which is E3 time is June.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if they came out after E3 a couple weeks or a week after and did their own type of PlayStation experience, which is their Days of Play, to do an E3 style where they will show off their heavy hitters to just prove a point that they don't need E3 to have the stage to themselves and get the coverage that they need.
You know what would be a real big fuck you is if they
if you ended the show when I really condescendingly call you Matthew.
Trying to stay on topic here, Keith. No, if they released a video on YouTube at the same time that the Microsoft presser was.
Oh. I don't think they would. I wish they did, but unfortunately they won't because of that new partnership. They wouldn't want to fuck that up.
No.
They at least would be decently respectful and not put something up while they're doing it.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting.
But if they did it, who would you watch?
I mean, it's probably going to be something pre-recorded, right? So just go up stealthily. I don't know. Probably Sony.
But if they were live and they came up and said, we're doing a sneak conference the day before saying, we're going to do our own little stage live show, who would you watch?
Sony.
Yeah.
There you go. That shows how much Microsoft needs to step up their game.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I would find it quite interesting to see how people, especially streamers, who would they watch? Because that would influence everything. If they did that, your point, that would be amazing if that could happen, because just the gravity of what's going on of people have to choose between two companies and have to watch one and push one away, and it would that is a big FU to Microsoft, because I bet more people are going to watch Sony than going to watch Microsoft.
Yeah. But like you said, it's never going to happen now that they're basically in bed together on their online streaming services. No one's going to step on anyone's toes.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Days of Play is going to be a couple weeks out in June, and I think that's where they're going to do their heavy hitting.
I mean, if they were smart,
I can see them doing it literally the week after. So as soon as E3 closes, bang.
Yeah,
Days of Play starts, and they're going to have some big announcements. It's going to line up with their summer sale. I think they're going to go full bore on it's going to be full FU style, but it's not going to be to Microsoft. It's going to be to the ESA.
Pretty much.
So it's going to be bang. Show's closed. Here's Days of Play. Here's the announcements for Ghost of Tsushima. Crossed. Here's the announcement that loads of these titles are getting big new expansions. First look at God of War 2. Here's when the summer sale is going to start, and here's some of the major titles that are going into the summer sale. And I think that they're just going to stick four fingers up at the ESA and say, "Screw you guys, we don't need you."
Yeah.
And then there's
I don't. When I was analyzing and looking at this days of play thing and like listening to that state of play so many times to figure out, I was trying to Google to see if they put any posting up and they put nothing on there. So that's why I think they're gonna sneak in there somewhere and just say days of play. Here are the dates, and it's like during E3 they say here are dates for days of play. It's on next week Monday, and then you're like, whoa. Everyone is not talking about E3 anymore. They're talking about what the hell is Sony gonna do the next day, the next week. They're gonna steal the moments basically.
It would be really clever if they put out one of their short video vignettes, and one of those during E3.
Oh, they won't. I know they won't.
But just to hype up the fact that.
So the state of play on days.
So the state of play is starting on whatever. So when does E3 close? Is it Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday. So state of play will start on the Friday.
Yeah.
And they'll do that on Tuesday.
Interesting.
After all the big announcements, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
They released their little trailer Tuesday.
Our big announcements are coming, and people will be talking about what could Sony be talking about rather than did you see the ongoing revenue model for Halo Infinite?
Yeah, I would say, Berkough, what do you think? I mean, I don't have to beat anybody up for this kind of information, but man, I think I'm on to something here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. They could do that. I don't know. I'm not really interested in Last of Us Part 2, which is probably what most people want to see. I just don't like zombies.
That's not right. We've got to that. But what do you feel about Mitch's idea and my agreeing with him that Sony could try and basically steal 2 days worth of news by announcing that they've got their thing coming?
Well, yeah, I think they should. I think that's definitely what they should do.
And then they'll call it ES No Way, please.
No, that's what we will hashtag it on the show.
Yes.
Say no way.
Who else we got? Who else is going to be there? Squeenix?
Square Enix.
Yeah, we might see
Squeenix.
Some actual gameplay outside of Midgar, hopefully. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It'll only be 56 seconds.
I'm sorry, Berkough. What game are you talking about? Is it Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see some gameplay outside of Midgar.
Giant teddy bear. What game is that from?
It's not. It's just some weird art that someone did.
Oh, sorry. Okay, keep going, Berkough.
We'll probably hear about another expansion for Final Fantasy 14. Does IDOS have anything in the works? Or...
Yeah, two games I have a question for both of you. Do you think one, do you think we're going to ever hear about Avengers?
No, I don't think so.
Well, if they don't this year, someone should just go around and nail their feet to the floor until they actually finish doing something with those games. Because if they don't release it now after the success of Endgame,
or even they
have done something fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking that I had a feeling they wanted to release this game when Infinity War came out, but now that Endgame's out and it's making even more money, they're just like, it's like this is the time to at least get the hype train going for the people that are like already excited about how Endgame came out or not happy, depending on.
Yeah, one of those games at least has to come out next year.
And then
otherwise,
another game I was talking about is, do you think that they will make another Tomb Raider?
No.
Yeah, probably not. They're probably gonna lay low on that for a while. I mean, I don't know. They should. She should actually be a Tomb Raider at this point.
Yeah. And more interestingly is
It came out 2 years ago, didn't it? Was it 2 years ago? Was the last one?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need to get better storytellers for it, because I loved all the concept of that new Tomb Raider. Like, all the mechanics are cool. I love the concept, but man, the stories are just not great.
I also think they were trying to out Ubisoft a little bit.
Yeah, well, actually, for the latest one, yes. I think the second one is the best version of what Tomb Raider should be, which is like a linear game, yet there's opportunities for open world exploration in like sub areas. So like,
right.
I don't know, maybe you guys are getting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You've got the linear sections, but then you've got that little hub world.
Right.
Or just a different, like multiple little bigger hub worlds that are not as big as a giant open world game, but it's at least manageable. So then it's not feeling like you have this giant open world and you have this giant checklist and all that kind of stuff. Because open world games for me nowadays, I look at it and like, you're giving me homework and I don't know if I want to complete all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So having that in small chunks, I thought was awesome and very nuanced, and felt like you could complete it and feel like you could keep going. You know, I liked that. And then they made the next game like a huge, bigger open world in like 2 maps basically. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, go back to what you did. It was so good.
Yeah, I didn't play Rise of or Shadow of. Did either of you guys play the second and the third ones?
I played the second one. I haven't played the Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
The third one's good. Like, I mean, if you can get it for like $30, $40, it's worth your time. I mean, It's got some cool elements, and I like Mayan culture, so it was interesting for me to kind of look at it in that aspect.
Were there more puzzle elements?
I'd say yes. They were a little more creative with more use of Mayan traps, and so the puzzles were more of how you get through traps in the tombs instead of like more physics stuff like in the first game.
Okay.
Which I kind of liked more that they did it in the third one, the way they did it in the third one, because I think it was creative, yet it still like didn't feel out of place in regards to like how you, like when you go into a Mayan temple, it's going to be full of traps. So that should be your puzzle, is trying to figure out how not to get freaking killed by this thing. It just seemed more realistic based off that. So I enjoyed it.
Well,
and we've learned to
one more though, obviously, but
because one thing I didn't know from playing the second one, it was obviously set up that there was going to be a third. Was at the end of the third, is there an obvious setup for a fourth?
Actually, it's closed off, but it seems to close off the 3 games together, but it does leave a good opportunity to come back if they want to. So if they ended here, it makes sense. There would be no harm, no foul in regards to story of going like, oh, they left this hanging, and it's like, no, everything kind of got resolved for the most part. And I think really by the end of the game, she really became that. You could tell they actually made her the Tomb Raider by the end of the game, by the end of the 3 games, compared to where every game they kept going, become the Tomb Raider, and it's like, well, I thought you were going to be after the first game and then after the second game. But this third game, finally, she like becomes the Tomb Raider. And so it leaves it open where she could just actually go do Tomb Raider things.
I would say if they do move forward with a 4th game, or if they've been working on a 4th game and they're going to show that off, my only hope is that there's a focus on puzzly elements. I prefer that rather than just running around murdering everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking about murdering people, we know about Mitch's penchant for human sacrifice to the sun god.
That's how I get my information, man. Don't give away my secrets.
Right. We all know who's left.
the squid
Capcom's
people.
not doing anything, I don't think.
No, Activision's not there. Capcom's not there.
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Link's Awakening remake, right?
Which the art style looks so bad.
Metroid Prime 4. Hopefully they've got something.
Which they're going to show a logo of.
Yeah, the new logo.
Yeah.
New studio.
We've been hard at work. We've been hard at work on this new logo.
We've been hard at work producing this new
really
logo that we're happy to
shop on that damn logo.
Yeah. We're really very happy to talk about Metro.
I think the best part is they're gonna be like, how do we know this game's gonna be good? Look at the new logo.
Yeah.
There's Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten info since the beginning of the year, which I'm personally a little disappointed about the initial. But I mean, you can watch my reaction about it. I have one up on it about it, but.
Where would we go to watch your reaction video?
You can go check it out on Freeze Frame Rate. I recorded I reacted to the entire direct. Like, I love certain things. I'm like a little disappointed about certain things, but it just shows that they're not taking a bigger risk like everyone thought they would be, which I like it when people take risks. I don't care if they flop on their faces and it's bad. I'd rather have them take a risk than to be safe. So to see that they're just doing a small thing is not as intriguing to me, but I am still interested in the game because I liked some of the aspects of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee that I hope that they integrate into the new game, which is small incremental type things. Like, I didn't like random battles. I actually liked seeing the Pokemon and then running to it if I wanted to go get it. Like, that was one of the cool things I really liked.
Yeah, my wife and I we're having a blast playing that. Let's Go. So
yeah, and like the catching mechanic, I didn't mind that as much. It would be cool if they let you like choose between, do you want to fight it or do you want to catch it, and then you could like open up the menu to catch it, or you could just battle it and get XP.
That makes too much sense. That makes too much sense, Mitch. Nintendo's not going to do that because that's a really good idea.
It's like Microsoft and Nintendo. They need me in them conferences to go, hey, let's not call it sad. Come on, no sad.
Right.
And you have me in the room to say, hey, why don't you just do a small Twitch like that? I think people are gonna love you for it because they give you choice, not shove it down your throat.
I think that the best thing that's happened about the announcement of Pokemon Sword and Shield is the videos of the Scottish Pokemon trainer that are on YouTube.
What?
Have you not seen those?
No.
I haven't seen these either.
Okay, go and look. Someone's done the theme tune for Pokemon on bagpipes.
Just look it up and put it on your background, and then we get to see it.
You need to watch it because there's some people doing some really good skits with Scottish colloquialisms, particularly Glaswegian ones, and some really, really bad accents, really bad.
You know, my favorite part about it after they did the reveal was everyone was going, "Who's gonna want to play Shield?" Like, seriously. Like, everyone wants to play Sword, but after God of War, I'm like, maybe I do want to play as a Shield. Like, Shields are pretty badass after watching God of War.
Yeah.
But Berkough, did you raise your hand and say you would take Shield?
No, I was just like, maybe. Like, it depends. I guess
the pastured lamb.
Well, I don't know. It kind of depends on like the type of Pokemon, I guess. But
that's true.
I'm so far behind. I don't even know how many Pokemon there are anymore.
Too many.
Yeah, that's the only like literally they have a Pokemon that's a set of keys. That's where I was like, this is disappointingly sad. Like, you don't need to keep going if you need to make a set of keys as a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'll probably get Sword if that's the case.
Yeah, I probably will get Sword too.
Well, then, what's the next one going to be then? If they've got a set of keys, is going to be Pokemon phone and wallet.
And truck.
Phone and wallet.
What else does Nintendo got? I mean, they haven't done anything with. They have been a while away from Splatoon. Do you think they're gonna announce that they're working on another one?
No.
No, probably not. I mean, it's done really well for them though.
No new. I mean, they've got Mario Kart. They haven't done a new one yet. The last one they did was a touch up of the Wii U version.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they stick with what they've been doing the past couple of years. Like they're gonna have that one game that they focus on, which is probably gonna be Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I would love to see like just hopes and dreams. I would love to see them do a Majora's Mask style game with the Breath of the Wild engine.
I know what's going to happen. They're going to have one of their crossovers between them and Ubisoft, and it's going to be Assassin's Creed Wario.
Oh my god, I would play that actually. I would totally play that.
I actually did like Rabbids and Kingdom Battle. Loved that. So I would not actually probably would play that. That would be enough to get me back to Assassin's Creed. Just for freaking Wario in there.
Nah.
Like his voice alone would satisfy me in every cutscene. Geez. The other thing I would say is, do you think, even though they said Link's Awakening's coming out, we had like it's been 2 full years since Breath of the Wild's come out. Do you think they're even going to hint at anything with the new mainline Zelda to get people to be?
No.
Or they're going to actually wait until it's almost ready, so then they don't make us wait a whole 2 console generations.
The only thing interesting that I think they might do is announce the 2 new versions of the Switch, which don't actually switch.
That's real?
Yeah, I think they're going to do an all-in-one tough book style one, and I think they'll do an docked only one.
Yeah, I want to say I think it was confirmed through some hardware manufacturer.
I don't think I've read anything that confirmed it. I've read someone that says sources that in like make in manufacturing said that they are, but that I'm not sure. With hardware, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've already got mine, so I don't.
Yeah, I got mine. So I'm not gonna get another one.
Yeah, I don't foresee myself buying another one. I think it's really good though to have like just a mobile one. If they can get the battery life up, that's a good move for them.
Let's see. I think is that it for Nintendo, McWomble?
I can't think of anything else.
No, yeah. We should probably end on Cyberpunk 2077. I think.
Well, what I was going to do with the last bit is ask you guys what you believe your games of the show are going to be. So I've put my 2 in the show notes. I probably should have written games of the show as opposed to games at the show, because there's going to be more than 2 there.
Are you sure? There might just be the
2. So yeah, my guess for games of the show are going to be Cyberpunk 2077, because people are so insanely hyped for that game. And after the showing of last year, people getting hands-on and be able to take away footage and play the game themselves, I think that game is going to get some serious traction. And then the other one, which actually I view as being a bit of a risk, is Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's either going to be EA of... not all is forgiven, but it's about time, but well done for getting here.
I guess because you bring up Cyberpunk, should we just talk about Cyberpunk really quick, and then we'll get to everyone else's list of things and disappointment and games of show. I do have to say, I will admit I'm one of those people where I am still skeptic about this game. Like, even though we've heard praises and I've seen what is actually that they have. I first off, this is definitely this is a next generation hardware type thing. The next and you know, the reason why I'm skeptic about it as much as I am is because TG Project Red has, even with Witcher 3, even though for how many people that love that game, what they showed originally is not what you got. So I am very skeptic to think that what people are saying about this game, I appreciate their ambition. I think they're great game creators that it's actually a perfect setting. But anyways, I think they're ambitious. I love that. I love their ideas that they have for it. But to think about it in reality, being like, can this really be a game? And can it be actually made? I don't think so. I think most of the concepts will be there, the basic concepts, but like every NPC having a meaningful conversation that you could like hop in on, like that's just too good to be true. The game would have to be so small, but then they're saying this game is going to be huge. So it's like it's almost, I feel like they're contradicting themselves in their ambition of how they're talking about how this game's going to be. But that's just me. But I think what is there is cool. It is cool to, it'll be fun to play. But I can't at the moment believe it.
I think it'll probably be on par with like a Bethesda RPG. And really, I mean, I'm happy with that in a Cyberpunk setting. That's cool.
Yeah, agreed. I'm fine with that too.
Well, it's not coming for another 2 years, I bet.
Okay.
I think probably November 2021.
That's a fair guesstimate.
Yeah, I guess my biggest issue is just everyone is all the media is really hyping this game to more than what you'd like. You guys been reviewing games forever. Like, think about it. Is that literally possible? It's not in a full-fledged game. In that demo, it's probably possible to show the concepts they want to do, but like to make that a full game.
I think that the thing is, you can fit all of that stuff in, but can you make all of it good?
Yes, good and at the quality they're at. You know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Witcher 3 was, as much as I didn't like the combat, it was a solid world. You know, when you ran into people, just riding your horse and random NPCs, like I don't know. It felt, you know, there was some immersion there. So
the Witcher Berkough running down civilians on his horse.
But I think they were saying something like, if I remember correctly, and if I'm totally wrong, comments, you can grill me all you want. That's totally fine if I'm wrong. But I swear I remember that they were talking about how these NPCs are going to have conversations, like full-fledged conversations that can last for hours. And that's like every NPC has the opportunity to interact with each other. That you can just drop on their conversations. And it's like, is that literally possible?
No, and if they said that, I wasn't paying attention. I don't think that I would ever do that in a game either. I don't think that I would. I don't think I would sit there and just have a conversation with a random NPC just to see.
Well, you wouldn't have the conversation. NPCs.
Oh, so you could stand there and listen to them for half an hour, 45 minutes, hours, listening to them have their conversations in a bar.
Yeah, am I right when I thought they said that?
Yeah, they said that all of the world is dynamic, so you can just stand and listen to people having what would appear to be a natural conversation, and it's not kind of the dialogue cuts off. Is that they come to a natural conclusion of their conversation.
But it's like how if you and they say how big this world is going to be, and they said that they are most likely said they don't want any load screens. I'm like, just the conversations alone is a lot of like that takes a lot of time. I just don't. I just can't imagine. I'd have to literally get the game to see the full-fledged game, because after I saw I've with the whole God of War, was it Raising God of War? Watch that on
Raising
YouTube.
Kratos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
With Corey Barlog. But basically, most game developers, and actually reading about Anthem too, like the demo is usually a proof of concept in what they show the public, and it's not the actual game that they're making. Like it is the game that they hope to make, but obviously they find out in the middle of that they have to make sacrifices in the middle of it. And I think people are thinking that this is actually what the product will be in the end, and I'm like, no game is exactly like the product in the first trailer.
Yeah, especially if it's made by Gearbox.
Aliens.
Well, two things. I downloaded another image to try and use it, and it wouldn't let me, which is probably a good thing because it was of Cyberpunk 2077. We'd probably get a copyright strike.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see the second demo in regards to how it is compared to the first one, and if there's
follow through. It's going to be a hands-on one as well, so it's not going to be a closed door thing.
I think that's going to be really interesting. I'm just scared because the public is especially the games journalists are so excited about this game that they might overlook or not try to look and see where is this game's potential shortfalls and just be oozed in the Cyberpunk 27 moment that they had of like, oh, this is amazing. It's like this possibly is not going to be what they're
true, but
it's not going to happen because they're going to be given an inhaler on the way in, which is just going to make it's going to make them all very compliant and suggestible. And there's not actually, the conspiracy theories are coming out now. There's not actually going to be a playable demo of Cyberpunk 2077 at the show. Everyone who goes in is going to be given an inhaler, which they're going to take, which is actually a hallucinogen. And then they're just going to have someone read part of a script, like an audiobook style, and they're just going to be lying back totally off their faces. And then they're going to get a load of swag in bags and turfed out the other side. And everyone's going to talk about how great it is. And no one would have ever actually played it.
I was gonna comment more in the realm of reality. I think honestly, like
this is why you're here, Berkough, because McWomble is in fantasy land, and you're the one that actually like into reality.
Sometimes I can get off on a tangent, and get out there.
I mean, he is in space, so you know.
But I mean, most journalists talk about like these are not the types of games that demo well at E3 anyway, right? Because you've got 15, 20 minutes or a half hour. And
ignore the child.
To play a full blown 100-hour RPG and condense that down into a 30-minute demo, like you can't have a meaningful reaction or experience with a game like that. So I think most, well, at least all the people that I listen to and care about their opinions, people like Jeff Gerstmann,
me,
and well, if you were going to E3 and playing the game,
you're not going to E3. You hate it.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just talking about people's opinions you care about.
I do care about your opinion. But like people that are going to demo it, if there is a playable demo at E3, I think they're going to temper their expectations a little bit just based on knowing what the scope is and what you can actually do. You can only get 30 minutes maybe for with that game, and you've got people around you, and shit's loud, and there's lights and everything else. So
there's going to be some closed door stuff as well, I bet. So I know Gaming for a Eurogamer will get some closed door exclusive access.
Well, yeah, I bet all the journalists and influencers will get a private session with the game to play it in a closed room compared to the public will have an opportunity to play it in public.
I don't think it's going to be made available to the public. I think it's going to be, so unlike last year, where it was closed door presentations to press only, I think this year it's going to be closed door hands-on.
Maybe. You think it's going to be the same demo? They're just going to give...
No, I think they will come up with a different scenario, but it's going to be closed door and hands-on press only. And then there'll be certain snippets of material that are made public. But I don't think it's going to be on the show floor, because I was looking at the map that was put up by the ESA, and CD Projekt Red don't have a space as far as I could tell.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
It'll probably
I did
be...
look at the map too, and I didn't see CD Projekt Red had a space. So no, you're probably correct. They don't probably have a public area for the public.
Well, maybe it's on, Xbox One X's or something.
No, it could be in Microsoft's area because they showed it off originally the first time. So maybe they will show it off again at their conference and then have it in their booth.
Maybe. I don't know. For something like that, if I was CD Projekt Red, actually, would you want to spend the money?
Yeah, because you want to be on the most powerful console.
No, not for something like that. Would you want to spend the money to have your own
booth?
Piece of real estate?
I don't think they would pay for it. I think Microsoft would pay them for it.
Yeah, that's what. And that's the thing. Yeah, but that game could be so cool because you remember people used to talked about, was it 4 years ago? Was it 4 or 5 years ago where they had the Mafia 3 booth that was laid out like a piece of New Orleans, and everyone was talking about how cool it was. How cool would it be if they decked out part of? Yeah,
that'd be badass.
Not going to happen.
All right, Berkough, what's your games of show? Do you think?
Well, I mean, we already kind of poo-pooed the idea that Starfield's going to make an appearance.
You can dream if you really think it's going to be there.
I would love to. I would love to actually.
You have to own it when it's not there, sir.
I would love just a CG trailer, showing us what the concept is of the game.
And that's going to be a game of show enough.
I mean, for me, because my thought is it's basically Elder Scrolls in space, which if that's what they're going for, I'm all on board, bugs and all. I'm down.
And then what do you think is going to be most disappointing?
Ooh. Most disappointing. Just Dance.
You know, they're going to bring on some techno dancers, and it's going to be the coolest dancing you ever did see, and you're really going to eat those words, sir. Because let's just be honest,
so.
That's the best part of the conference.
I hope so.
That's the tone. Anyways, I would say my most game of show is going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really think based on what they showed us already, there's going to be a demo of this game and people are going to go bananas. Because I like, even though I don't mind turn-based combat, I'm fine with it. Right. But the style that they're going with, like where it showed like there's blocking in this game and it's very much similar to Final Fantasy 15, which I actually like that game a lot. The story falls flat for people and I get it, but there's parts that I feel like people are missing about it that I'm just a little frustrated at them more than the game, and I think the game's a good game. So I like the combat. If that's similar, I think that's a great move to go to for that, and I think people are going to go bananas because they haven't shown all the main characters yet, and I think they're going to show all the main characters and everyone's just going to go crazy because they're like, oh my god, Tifa, oh my god. This is Berkough at E3. Oh my god, it's Tifa. And so I just think they're going to go bananas for it. I mean, I finished Final Fantasy VII. I like the story. I just can't get past the anatomy of the characters. Like pudgy little arms and pudgy little feet. It's so hard to get past. So to have this,
When did
where it
you
feels like they're actual real bodies.
when did you originally play it? When was the first time you played the game?
Well, I wasn't. I wasn't like I was still really really young when it came out. So it was. I didn't play until I was like in high school.
Okay.
When the PS3 came out was when I was in high school. So that's kind of the time I played it. And then I didn't finish it though. I finished it a couple years ago on my PS4 when I got it for PS4. And I've seen when I saw Advent Children, that got me excited to play Final Fantasy VII. So if Advent Children can be anything like the combat to like get me to feel that moment, oh, you got me. You got me good.
All right.
Most disappointing game. Oh, jeez. I didn't think of this one. I think it's going to be Beyond Good and Evil 2. And here's why. Because I think this game is extremely ambitious, which, again, I credit people that take risks. But I think they're not going to show enough that is going to get people excited. Because I'm not excited for Beyond Good and Evil 2. I know that I have never played the first one, but they're doing nothing to get people at all that have never played interested or excited because they have no idea what the hell is going on, and they really need to fix that because I think they are leaving this game could potentially do amazing, but they are just eating it badly by not explaining enough for people that have never played the game, understanding any of the franchise and understanding what the hell is this.
But
and
they have
not doing enough to explain it.
They have a foul-mouthed chimpanzee and an anthropomorphic hog.
Yeah,
So obviously everyone should get hyped for it. And it's in space, and it's being made by Ubisoft, so it's going to have all the possible map markers and icons that you could ever think of. Yay!
I'm actually sold on the game now. Like I wasn't excited. I wasn't excited for that game before McWomble started going off. So,
but see, they don't sell it you like that. See, even you should be excited for this game, but you are not because they haven't sold you on it.
Right.
Like they need to do a better job. And those people, like the directors, are a little wacky and wacky, and I get it. That's okay. But really, get a marketing team on them, please, because they got to sell this thing. Because I feel like based off their announcement in this last year's conference when they had them, I feel like I should be more hyped for this game than I am, and I'm like, that's on them, I guess, because I don't know. They need to fix that. So I think they will not learn from that mistake and do it again, and then we're gonna go back again a couple weeks later and go, man, why am I not excited about this game?
Are you suggesting that the executives at Ubisoft are also interdimensional alien fish people?
No, I'm thinking they need to add a dancing panda to their Beyond Good and Evil 2.
There's probably one in Beyond Good and Evil 2. There's probably an anthropomorphic panda who breakdances.
Who dances? And rainbow colors spark out of him when he dances. Oh, it's going to be great. See, that will hype me.
I think on the note that there's going to be a breakdancing panda in Beyond Good and Evil 2. Is that PRE-3 done?
I think so. Unless you've got any more thoughts.
No, other than this is my actual signed Tennessee Titans Keith Bullock jersey, of whom I met in London when they played here last year.
Ooh, nice.
It's probably not worth anything, but I just wanted to point out this. I didn't just sign this myself. This was signed by the actual ex-Tennessee Titan Keith Bullock. Thank you very much.
I would
That's
stand
about
up right now and show you my signed Mitch Trubisky football, which is actually worth something, but I'm too lazy to stand up.
Yeah. So this is as close we're going to get to talking about Madden 20.
I'm
All right. So on that note, gentlemen, we will see you in 2 weeks.
I do have one quick thing to mention that's not video gaming. Evan Piotrowski, eating while doing this show is nearly impossible. So you should probably change the name, because breakfast ain't gonna work for you. You're gonna be talking with your mouth full. I barely finished anything because I couldn't. I was like, am I gonna need to talk in a minute? I can't put a cube in of cheese or turkey. Just not gonna work. You gotta rename it. It's not gonna work. I give it a 1 out of 5.
And on that note, we're done.